Alright, I said in the last video that I will do an extended test of this whole thing, and this is going to be that test. So we'll take a... Why am I talking? I'm going to show you. We'll take a look at like every scene with like Rec 709, and then what I did to match contrast, what I did to, do the looks that I did. We'll take a look at the note tree and, the kind of matching process. Not completely a match, but like at least the contrast is matched. So we'll take a look at the processes of that. And let's roll. Alright, people of the internet, now we can take a look at the contrast matching. I'm sorry, I don't know why I did that. Okay, I'm just gonna show you the note tree. So this is a fairly basic note tree from my power grade, because I'm a YouTuber. Of course I made a power grade, which is not for sale and not gonna be until I fucking do the right thing. Blah blah blah, whatever. Okay, it's gonna show you the whole thing. I have a CST because I made the power grade in S-Log3, so that's just like taking this into S-Log3. So first of all, it started with this. So this is the Tamron look. So I wanted to get a usable look out of Tamron. I overexposed here, yes, and I just have an HDR wheel correction, as you can see, and then I added a highlight roll off just a little bit, and I usually like around the 50 IRE level. So that's good. I add a color just a little bit, and that's just like tiny little bit like teal and orange look in the shadows. You can see that. I think that's pleasing. And I added a contrast one, which is just 0.41, which is the middle gray of S-Log3, and I added just like 1.1. It's not too much. And if we go to the Helios one, it looks a little more, which we're gonna take a look at now. Okay, so the same thing again with HDR wheel and highlight roll off. I have again the same color thing as you can see there, but this one's actually just a little stronger, the same contrast. And what I did with this one is in my lift gamma gain, I usually take a screenshot of this and then go into here, and then we can take a look at it. So with this one, I was like, okay, so I'm gonna try to match the lift, the blacks here, and then we're gonna try to match the gain there, because if that was like that, okay, we can take a look at it. So like from this, I'm gonna take it down to here, and then I'll push it down, push it up to there. So kind of on the right path. I'm gonna take the Luma mix down. Skin tones are a little bit of an issue there, so I was like, okay, we can just add this. It's like a color slice on skin tone, and I'm still thinking we can make this a little brighter. So I'm just gonna go to like there. I mean, this is not a 100% match again, but it's enough for the intents and purposes of this thing. As you can see, there's a lot of like color differences between the two lenses. I mean, the Helios is a lot more green tinted, and the Tamron is a lot more balanced, and yes, it looks a little more magenta, but it's a lot more balanced than the Helios. Alright, so this is the creative look, and you know, it was like this, and then we took it to this, which is a kind of a big difference, but you know, not too big of a difference. So node tree didn't change a lot. I added another parallel node, and you know, did the took the highlights down just a little bit. Looks good. I can turn off the warmth, and then we can see, you know, this was like this, and the actually the LUT is pretty warm because I shot 500T for a couple of months, and then, you know, I was trying to match it and stuff like that, and I came into a good conclusion of like this was the one that I wanted. And you know, this is it's a pretty cool look, but it's pretty warm, so you know, I cooled it down but added a little bit of warmth into the whole image. So you know, I'm trying to find that balance. Contrast is the same, color is again just a little different with temperature there. It's a little cooler. I didn't do anything with the saturation like I did with the Helios, and the dehancer node is just for like grain. As you can see, there's some fine grain going on, which I really enjoy. And we also have a vignette, which, you know, if we turn off the effects, it looks like this, and boom boom, and then we turn on the effects, it looks like this, which I think is pretty cool. Okay, the Helios one, which is kind of looks similar but also kind of complicated, but it's not actually. This is all the same, like until these guys. And okay, this Helios node, this is the same one, and I added the Helios node again, what we talked about in the contrast one, so that's there. And I added 2 saturation nodes, which help with the skin tones a lot. And I actually sharpened the image just a little bit. If I turn off the grain, you can see that here. Just a tiny little bit, because, you know, it was way too dreamy for me. Okay, and then again, grain. This is the look. I added a match one. It's not quite the same, but kind of similar, you know, getting that around that look. But I do really like that coolness of the Helios, I must add. And you know, I also have to add, like, I don't hate the fact that it's like soft. I love soft, but it's just that I think, like, in a situation like this, there's a lot of blooming, it just needed that. I don't know. Okay. honest with you, this one I would, in a scene like this, I would much rather use Helios than Tamron, because I don't know, I just love the look. We're gonna take a look at the Tamron at 2.8 and Helios at f2 because I fucked up with the focus, which I fucked up there. But we can also take a look at the 4.1, but I just want to take a look at it there. Okay. Nothing different going on here, to be honest with you, just the saturation node. So this is what I want to talk to you about, actually, because if I turn the saturation node on, as you can see, our skin tones are a lot more in that same range, which, you know, I would maybe cool it down just like tiny a little bit. Yeah, and then maybe like add 0.5 to there. It is around the same, but not around the same. But again, like without this, I do kind of like the look of the skin tones because I don't know, it just is much more fuller than the Tamron one. Maybe Tamron one is a lot more closer to reality, but the Helios one is, I don't know, I think a lot cooler. Even if you take it down just a little bit, I still do see a lot more fullness in this whole image. The micro contrast is like, I don't know, pretty cool. And you know, the bokeh is like, if we get into the bokeh like f2.8, the bokeh is just gives so much more character and so much more, I don't know, life to the image, I think. If we take a look at the 2.8, this is the saturation node. If we take a look at here, I mean, I don't know, I do really like this look. Now we're really getting into the good stuff because, so okay, this is the Helios, right? This is the Helios at f2. I think Helios plays really well with grain. I don't know how this is going to come off on YouTube, but I think it plays really well. Okay, well, wait just a second. Nodes, same look from the first scene. I didn't change anything. Didn't, you know, change any warmth or color and blah blah, nothing like that. I didn't even add the sharpening here, which says a lot again, because this is not a blooming situation right now. This is not a situation where, you know, there's a lot of like the visible highlight blooming in the background, so like background situation. Just wait a second. Again, grain. I don't know why, but in a scene like in a frame like this, with this lens, the grain looks so good. And I to be honest with you, I can't say the same thing about Tamron. Like, it still looks good, but I don't know, the Helios one just plays so well with it. Maybe it's just my, you know, my taste with it, but I think it just plays so well. Okay, like I said, no tree didn't change, but one thing that I love about the Helios is the cooler background, and the greens are a lot different, as you can see here. Like, they're more like saturated and deep, and you know, the chromatic aberration is like crazy, but I do think like it gives such a nice, you know, nice touch to the greens, especially to the greens. I really like the look. I really do think that, I don't know, it just plays so well with it. We can turn off the enhancer and vignette so we can take a look at the frame. Kind of looks like this. Bam, bam. Up. Turn off the HDR. I don't know, I really like it. We can turn on the enhancer and vignette again, and voila. In a scene like this, definitely gonna go with Helios. matching process was kind of easier for this. I have to add, like, at least for contrast. Again, didn't match the colors, but so this is the Helios one, right? So I can just turn everything off again. So this is Helios log, and this is the Tamron log, which is basically the same thing. So you can take a look at the Tamron one now. Just took it down a little bit, took the highlights down, added contrast is just like 1.25. Yeah, kind of added a little bit of contrast already. Color, which is like adding blue to everything, so it just, you know, cools it down just a little bit. And so I did the same thing with the Helios, and it looks like this. So that move is really needed. One more thing, in this contrast, I forgot that I made a move like this, which allows me to open this up a lot more and, you know, drop the blacks down a little bit. So that was like the definitive move that, you know, kind of matched the contrast levels, which looks pretty good. Okay. So the last scene, the last look, which is actually pretty interesting because the matching of this was a lot, I think, better than the other ones. And again, the same look as I use in the other ones. It's just there's another HDR that again does the highlight roll off here. Same LUT, same color stuff. I think it's, no, this is the same color one actually. I like the scene too. Everything else the same. The answer is the same, blah, blah, blah. So, but what I want to take a look is the blooming, because we can see it really, really nice here, especially here in this area, which, you know, the highlights. And as you can see, like, damn, like, Tamron has really good control, and this is what I mean, like, way too dreamy. It's just kind of too much. It just kind of gets too much. Again, this is the lens isn't well. I know that, like, that's why it's happening. But still, like, I don't know. If I turn off the enhancer, you can still see it's pretty cool. But I think with like grain, it just pairs really well. Although I'm gonna say it's pretty, like, noise is pretty nice. And also, by the way, with the Helios one, we can also see here the chromatic aberration feels kind of like halation. Like this halation turned off, but you can see here or here in this area that there's quite a bit of nice chromatic aberration. Tamron is not like that, but again, like if we look at the same stuff, you know, this is the same grade with both of these ones. Then if I were to choose one, I would just choose, I don't know, Helios, because I think that those greens and the chromatic aberration, that Loca that turns everything, that blue green thing, I don't know, it just feels so much nice. It has more character. I'm not saying Tamron's bad. Like, Tamron's really, really, really good. I think like this is the you know, in full frame world, FX3 world, there's always the 24 to 70. Or like 28 to 70 or something from Sigma, and then Sony G Master one. I think like Tamron 17 to 70 is that for APS-C cameras, APS-C Sony cameras. I mean, not even Sony cameras, every APS-C camera. Like, it's really controlled, it's really nice. But again, the look of this is just, it's just cool. Yeah, if we take a look at the sharpness too, like, we can take a look at the sharpness here. You can see the chromatic aberration, very obvious there. And if we just go to f8, like, it's a lot more sharper. Like, this is, let's take a screenshot, let's go here, and so this is the Helios, this is Tamron at f8, and comparable sharpness, I would say. I mean, we could also go and say, okay, you know what, let's take a screenshot of this and then go here, and then we might add, I want to try the sharpening thing. If we were to add just a little bit of sharpness to it, I think we would match it, and then, you know, we would have to add quite a bit more of that darker tone in there, maybe to something like this. Yeah, but I mean, the sharpness looks comparable. I would even, yeah, maybe like 48. Yeah, I mean, again, bottom line, both have their places, but I do really love Helios. Again, this was just a test, you know. I gave my thoughts on Helios last week, so if you want to watch it, you can watch it there. It's just that I don't really use it because it's just too tight. But for shots like this, I mean, it just looks beautiful. Or, I mean, shots like, let's take a look at this one too. Like this is really nice, I think, with the Helios. All right. First of all, like my eyes. Oh my god. Cool test. Really cool test. It has allowed me to get to know the lenses a lot better. I can give you a little verdict of mine. I really like the Tamron one when there's no like that backlight blooming situation going on. In those situations, I really like it, but I still do think like it's so tight, like 85, 90 millimeters. I think it's a staple on every lens set, but there are not a lot of situations that I'm using that, and I would like to use an 85 or something like that, but it's just that the situation must require it because, again, of this like flaw of like the bloom flaw. Other than that, Tamron is really great. I understood that again. Like it's just so great. Sharpness and all that, it doesn't really bother me, again, unless we're in that blooming situation. But I quite honestly really like that. Okay, one more thing I'll add because I showed you the note tree too. So of course, like again, I'm a YouTuber. Of course, I'm gonna make a power upgrade and like a LUT system or something. But yeah, I've been trying to do that actually for the past, coming close to like nearly 2 years. But you know, 2 years inactive, and like the last probably about 10 months or so actively. I've shot a couple of rolls of 500T and then 250D. And you know, I got them developed and I took them back again, and you know, trying to develop this power grade, and not just, I don't know, maybe it'll be up for sale at some point. Right now it's just for me that, you know, I first of all practice, and then I have a cool look. And this was a really great test because, again, I export everything to like to the monitor, and then I have a monitoring LUT, and I can, you know, shoot for the LUT too, which is pretty great. And it really looks similar. And yeah, that's that. I mean, that note tree is like really not too complicated, and that was the whole idea too, you know. Like I didn't want to make it a whole lot super complicated thing. I just wanted to make something that is simple. It's, I don't mean like less like one click grade and like it's gonna be better in like one click. No, I don't want, it was not like that. It's just like I wanted it to be simple, not like thousands of nodes and stuff like that. I just wanted to, you know, do that. But again, that's a topic for another day, another dollar, another, you know, the community peanut wrap. Okay, it's getting late. I have to go to sleep now. If you enjoyed it, say something down below in the comments. If you watched until right now, do leave a comment, because I do want to know if you watched until this like last 10-15 seconds. That would be pretty cool. Yeah, I can give you some fun facts if you're still watching. Yeah, so lately the views have been really down, and you know, I always said like I'm making videos for me, like I have to like them, and if people like it, awesome, but I have to like them. I've been liking my videos, but the views and stuff has been so low, and then I actually didn't get. I mean, I had a brand deal, and you know we did a trial run with a video, and then the video didn't perform like they wanted, and then that fell through. They were going to send me some lenses, and that fell through, which was pretty sucky because I had a project writing on those lenses. It's not like shilling, and it could also be shilling. I'm making a video about a product. I mean, I can say whatever I want, but still, you know. Yeah. So that was kind of sucky. So that kind of sucked. And my end of the year goal, end of 2024 goal was hitting 1,000 subscribers, but it didn't happen. Maybe like it's January 5th right now, and I think I've got like 975 subs, which is pretty great. Like I'm not grateful or anything. It's pretty great, but you know, I would also love to see that 1,000 hopefully before we hit February, before I hit my 1 year anniversary on YouTube. Yeah. Okay. If you watched until here, hey. Okay. If you watched until here, thank you very much. And do let me know if you really watched until this moment. I'll see you next week. Bye.